You're now listening.
You're not listening to the Shameless Goat.
The Shameless Goats.
The Shameless Goat.
So, fellas, how do you guys set the mood? How do you guys get your Teddy Pendergrass on? What do you guys do?
Hey,
Turn the lights down low.
That's Bob Marley, though.
that's the
I
raw.
need yachts. I need yachts.
He raw too though. Shout out to Bob Marley.
For sure.
But I could say though that back in my day, I think the most important thing was like me. I wanted to present to her that I'm worthy of her spending time with. So I'm gonna try my best to clean up my little room, fix my full size bed. You know what I mean? Like sweep the carpet and
Prepare.
Just prepare. Yeah, put on like a little playlist, whatever. And you know when she come, you know make sure she's comfortable. That was my biggest thing. Just making sure she is right. She feels right. She feels secure. You know, like nothing bad is gonna happen to me here, whether I decide to, or just whether she decides to have sex or not have sex. Nothing harmful is coming from this guy.
You're the good guy.
Trying to be.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
I think I've always sprayed like cologne on my bed and like make sure like
What?
Cause like I don't know, I feel like you smell that and you just want me a little bit more. Maybe I'm wrong.
That CK.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
But like you always got to make sure like the condoms are very close, because then to break the action of trying to reach for a condom was always weird. So
Right.
always
True.
be prepared before then.
For sure.
Keep it in pockets.
What about y'all?
You want to seem too ready that you had it on you.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You gotta keep it in pockets, bro. Because you're right. It does break that mood where it's like, oh wait, hold on, let me get up.
Yeah. That awkward.
That
Yeah.
awkward walk, bro. It was funny.
For sure.
But I think music is definitely universal. You were asking like, what do you do? Yeah, music. I think that's universal.
Yeah.
I just do the whole movie thing. Certain movies, I think, for women, get them in the mood.
Porn.
Definitely not that. But I mean,
You'd be
music.
surprised.
I think everybody said music. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah.
I'm affectionate, so I like to, massage. Hey baby, you want a massage?
Creep a hand on the titty.
Not even. Like I think when you're very precise in what you're doing, especially like when you're giving a massage, you're not really trying to be a pervert about it. Shit, they
Yeah.
kind of like they respect that, and I think they kind of like, well, shit, taken back at the damn. He didn't grab a tit or try to touch my ass. Like he was really respectable. So that's what I do.
I agree. I think women can sense your precision. That's the perfect word. I think like it feels like you're not just fumbling all over the place trying to
Catch a little feel or
right.
something.
Yeah, like I just grabbed the titty. Sorry, I was trying to reach for the remote. It's like that's
The
you know,
trustworthy.
yeah.
The trust goes up a little bit more.
Right. They respect that. I think more for sure, man.
I think cuddling is also another one too. Like I think when you're in the sheets in the bed and you're just kind of like cuddling, she could probably feel the flashlight on the remote.
Bro.
The remote, the flashlight.
Yeah, so I mean,
That's how you set the mood.
nah, it's really just cuddling though.
Yeah.
You trying to hint towards, like, hey man, do you feel this?
I know it's actually the remote though. I actually put it there, so she got to ask the question.
Do y'all try to make sure that she's comfortable?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to. You got to.
Yeah,
I make
think-
sure.
Yeah.
I make sure I always like hey, do you drink wine? Is anything you want to drink? And I don't do anything too hard. It's usually like wine,
I mean, like you said, like women want to feel comfortable. If they
Yeah.
don't, most likely they won't even be there anymore, or they'll just start getting vibes that that's not where they should be. So whatever you need to do, like you say, get the wine, just play the music, get the satin sheet pillow case, whatever.
Spray
Yeah.
the cologne.
I see it almost like
Incense.
maybe like a job interview too. Like I feel like I'm going in. I want to give you the best that I have. Like, nah, trust me, I deserve. Like you've entrusted. You came over to my home, and maybe we like each other. We've been talking or whatever. Like I want you to know that this is a safe space.
Safe space.
Yeah, man. Like this is okay. I chose this guy. Let me I feel like she chose me, so let me try to. You know what I mean?
No, don't know what you mean.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, excuse me. So then I feel like she decided to come over. So let me try to make her feel as comfortable, almost like she was at home.
Like she don't regret the idea that I came
Right.
over here.
Live up
That's
to those
right.
standards that she has for you.
And I think
That's
that's
right.
Part of that is just being really passive. So like with me, I don't ever try to like do that shit the first night ever. Like I feel like jump into sex. Like I feel like when a woman comes over, I want her to feel comfortable. I'm like, listen, I'm not even gonna say, this is your side of the bed, but I just kind of keep my mind focused on, okay, there's an imaginary line right here. I'm gonna make her feel respected. And if it does happen, it's gonna have to be on her part. She's gonna have to be the one to say, okay, I'm the aggressor. in the situation. It won't be me saying, "Girl, come over here, man. Let me grab you. Let me." I'm gonna give her the space to do what she wants to do.
So when you guys have done all of the things that y'all just said, how do y'all know that she's feeling you?
How she feeling? It's giving you the vibes, right?
Yeah,
That's a tough one, ain't it?
It's a
It's an unsaid thing, kind of.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like it has to be reciprocated. Whatever you're doing has to be met with whatever she's doing. You know what I mean? If you feel like you're over aggressive and you don't feel anything from her, you got to step back a little bit and let her kind of take over the momentum of the situation.
I agree. I mean, I think there's like maybe unfortunately there's this learning curve that you have to learn or overcome. It's like because like the one you just said, like every action has to be met with reaction. So I think if you meet resistance, you'd be like, oh, she's trying to play hard to get. Like, nah, she's just not.
Chill the fuck out.
Right. She's not there, or she may not be there. So don't try to. So then you just pull back. So that's what you have to know. It's like, but to change that in the beginning, don't force yourself in the first place. Like you just said, be passive.
Be passive.
Let her be the aggressor. Like she came already, so let her make all the more decisions. She made the decision to come. Allow her to make more and more. Create the environment that she makes all the decisions.
And see, what's crazy about that is, though, I remember I was in a situation where I went on a date with someone, and she told me she was feminist. So I was like, okay, she's gonna take charge when she needs to, when she's ready to.
Yeah.
And after our third date, she's like, "Oh, come over. I got a flat tire. I need you to put air in my tire." So I'm like, "All right." So I drove to Brickell to go put air in her tire. I gave her a hug. You good? And then she was like, "Okay." And I was like, "All right."
That was a test.
So I left, and I didn't realize it was a test. And I just didn't hear from her for like a week. And so I hit up like, "Yo, what's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, like you've come to my house 3-4 times, and you never made a pass at me." I'm like, well, first of all, I thought you were a feminist. Like, you could share this role too. Like, and the other part of it was like, well, damn. I mean, if you wanted, like, why didn't you show me any signs? Like, why did it have to be only on me?
That's a good question.
But I wanted to, and I'm always like that. I'm always very respectable when I invite anyone to my home or my bedroom, or whatever the case is. I don't try to be too aggressive because I think that, especially being big and black, how that. I don't have the luxury of being that dude, like, come on, man. I'm not doing all that.
Yeah.
So you think it's a problem if a guy makes the first move?
No, I just think be respectable
Yeah.
in it. Like whether it's something like, putting your hand on her thigh. I mean, don't do too much. Don't go straight for the snack, man. I mean, put your hand on your thigh, kiss her. Hey, don't lean in for a kiss. I mean, that's enough time for her to say either pull back or lean in. And that kind of tells you where you are or where you stand with her.
It's just being aware, though. The whole time you just got to be aware of what you're doing and how she's reacting. Like you can be the aggressive, but don't be aggressive, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Right. Or maybe another word, you could be the initiator.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could be. I think that's a perfect way to say it. Like you can be the initiator or the aggressor, like he just said. But like your move don't have to be aggressive. Yeah, choke. Right. You don't have to like take it so far. Like you said, I think that idea of like putting your arm on her thigh, for example, is a show of
affection,
or even like confidence. You can see like, okay, maybe we're in this gray area. You decided to, let's say, break the ice, just to see, like, put a filler out there. Maybe that was something like you just said. The woman you were talking to said, "He came over, you never made a pass at me." Maybe she was just waiting for any kind of hint, like, okay, you touch her elbow, whatever. You gave her a kiss on one of them hugs. You know what I mean? So sometimes, I guess, maybe because that's how patriarchy is made, women have been designed to be very, they have to just be on the receiving end sometimes. Like, maybe that's how society designed it. So sometimes, I guess they're maybe conditioned to, like,
I remember there was
men
a time,
have to be that,
I remember there was a time where people said bases. Remember that? Like, I got the first base. I got the
Right.
Right.
So do you guys think that is a good step? Like, instead of, because somebody might say touching her thigh might be, I don't know, I don't remember second or third base.
Yeah.
So you don't think that, hey, whatever first base is, this is a good way to gauge what her interest level is in you?
I mean, I would say it's all about reading her. I mean, you got some women who desire for you to do that versus a woman that's just very standoffish or very secluded within herself. She doesn't want to be touched.
So I guess what I'm asking is, do you guys go by the basis? It's like,
Absolutely no. Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. So you just got to read the woman. Like, maybe a kiss is too much for some women. You know what I mean? And maybe a kiss just not enough for another.
I've had girls who kiss on the first date, and then I have girls who don't kiss at all. So you really can't go based on that.
That's true. And I think it's important that, I mean, while we're having this conversation, because there's a lot of gray areas, like you're saying, like the base concept.
Right.
Is like some people do try to, all right, kisses. I hold her hand, I get to first base.
That's first base.
I don't even know what the rest
I
are.
don't even. Yeah.
I don't know. And it's important to learn. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of deficiencies in like our knowledge about consent, like implied versus explicit. So like, should you now ask, ma'am, would you like me to hold your hand? Would you like me to kiss you? I don't know what third base is. Would you like me to?
Right.
Yeah. Would you like to have sex?
Yeah, because that's the only way for it to be clear, cut and dry, is you asking. But in the reality of a relationship, and when I say relationship, I'm not saying your girlfriend, your wife, but I'm just saying your interaction with somebody.
Yeah.
That's something that just doesn't typically happen. So you have to read people, and that's when it becomes hard.
So it makes it implicit.
And I think that's where a lot of issues. Now, of course, there's
exactly what the
sexual assault and rape. Like, forget it. Of course, that's definitely going to happen. But I think like a guy and a girl, they like each other, and then somehow the signals get mixed.
Right.
I think what you said earlier is learning curve, because for some women, certain kinds of actions is more acceptable than others. So everybody has a learning curve where it's like you're trying to read this individual and what is it okay for me to do with this person. Like what you did with person A might not be good with what you do with person B.
But see, I think that's part of, like when I'm talking to anyone now, I usually ask them what's their love language,
That's a good one.
For me, I like physical touch, like most men do. But I use physical touch and quality time, and I know when I meet women, and depending on where they put physical touch at, that lets me know what to expect from them. If I have a female who says physical touch is her first one, I know that she's affectionate. I know that, and I kind of get into that. Hey, do you like kissing? Do you like holding hands? She's like, yeah, I love cuddling.
These are questions you're asking.
Yeah, all day. And this is just in casual conversation. It's not something I'm having while we're in the bed with each other. You get what I'm saying? It makes it awkward. But
what I love about what you're saying is the communication. When you're having these conversations, then it's better to gauge like, okay, what is acceptable in this person's eyes?
Yeah, because it lets you know where you stand and what, like you said, is acceptable. If I find out that I'm with a female and she's like, oh, I'm not really big on affection, at that point I keep my hands in my pocket. I'm affectionate, so I know that anything I may do may set her off. I've gone on dates with women who, touching their shoulder, like she's like, nigga, you straight? So you just kind of gotta, and it was important that, because she told me she was not, physical touch was last on her list. But I didn't think, hey, buddy, was going to be an issue for her either.
Right.
But once I saw that, she kind of gave me the look like,
don't
I was like, yeah, that shit dead.
And it can get difficult when you're defining affection, because what might be affectionate to you might not be affectionate to somebody else. Somebody might just take affection as, okay, we're holding hands and that's great. And you might say, nah, it got to be something deeper or something less.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And a learning curve again. That's
the learning curve.
I could even make that a personal thing. Like my wife's love language, like you stated, is affection number one, numero uno. Like outwardly holding hands, like you said, and cuddling, like you said. Mm-hmm. But mine's is not. That's probably maybe the last on my list. So I see it as like, I love you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's implied, but hers is explicit. Like hers is like, I want to show me. You have to show me. You have to say it. You have to, touch my arm or touch my, hold my hand. I know. I was like,
hold me.
Excuse me. No, to hold my hand or, X, Y, and Z. And I think those conversations that you have, not even with just your wife, you have, like you said, on dates. When you're on the apps, like you could be like, how you doing? I'm this, I work this. So what's your X, Y, and Z? If you want to get that out the way, cool. To me, like I can think about it in my life now. There's plenty of women that I've tried to talk to who probably think I'm really lame because I ask a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I think it's corny. You know what I mean? Because I want to know X, Y, and Z, so I'm clear.
That's important.
Because I'm unsure.
I think communication is probably one of the most important things to me. Yeah. When I'm getting to know someone or while I'm in a relationship with somebody. Because you got to know these things. So how do we move when we're in this situation? What do you expect? What do you want? What's cool with you? Like those things are incredibly important. To make it personal on me, I've had a situation where a woman did say, I want you to ask me to kiss you. And this is somebody I was trying to get with at a particular time. And that was the first time I heard that. But I appreciated that she told me that, because I would have looked like a fool in her eyes if I would have tried
to
kiss
lean
her.
in and kiss her.
Exactly.
Right. That's true. Do y'all think it's important nowadays to ask these questions outwardly? Hey, is it okay if I take off your pants? Is it okay if I?
So,
no, I'm saying, I guess it's funny, but I think
it's
it is
crazy
funny.
because it's where we at right now in society.
You're right.
I think that in today's day and age, I think absolutely you have to. In the past, I think a lot of things were implied, and those gray areas, ain't so great right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just too many women that have stories about that gray area where it went south for them. So in order just to free yourself of anything that can further come along, you just have to be open and honest and outwardly about it. Hey, like, I like you. We're in this moment right now. Can we take it to the next step? I mean, it's weird, but it has to happen.
Do you feel like you should ask that, even if the off chance that it affects the mood, like it ruins the?
So I don't
vibes.
think that every time you're attempting to have sex, you explicitly
Have
say,
to ask.
"Ma'am, may I take off your pants right now?" Because I think if we were to be honest right now and think about the last time we had sex, I don't think any of you guys did that, and I wasn't there the last time y'all niggas had sex.
Oh,
I don't think. But I don't think you said to break the move. It could be anything like, "Do you want this right now?"
Nah, bro.
I'm not sure.
It kind of sounds crazy.
It's not even about that. I'm just saying that there are a lot of people who misread things, and we are also capable of misreading things. But for, let's just say, us right here, I would say more oftentimes than not, we probably read that sign right when we went to go take off somebody's pants. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that most men do that. I can't speak for most men.
Yeah.
But I can speak to most times people have had sex. You're not saying that because there is something that you do read into it. And I think it's kind of ridiculous if people think we've gotten to the point where you have to say, "Ma'am, may I please take off your pants right now?" Like, I don't think we're there yet.
I agree with you. It's just scary for a man right now because
Absolutely.
Because the Me Too movement.
Don't shed no tears for us. It's been scary for women for some time.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
And I agree with that.
When I say scary, I mean like the understanding of the situation is what we lack, and so we go into these situations thinking the same way we've always thought, and women are trying to evolve from that.
Yeah.
And so we handle it all the same, the only way that we know. And that's the problem. And we just got to keep learning. But right now, we're not learning. I guess we haven't learned as much as we should, and so we get stuck in situations where we are getting cases. I guess, and I can say it like that.
Yeah,
So.
I'm with you. I think like the scary part that you're referring to, I think is part of like when I see like the Me Too movement, for example, like of course it's all these Harvey Weinstein's, Bill Cosby's, for sure. But how it trickles down, I guess, to like the everyman is like, some of the gray areas. I think that movie is trying to define it like, hey, we've been uncomfortable this whole time,
Right?
But we didn't know what it was. But now we have the ideas to it. We see the patterns. Like, nah, this is not okay. When you was trying to get a drink at a club and you like kind of squeeze, like, oh, let me get by you, and you rub your dick on her backside.
So I would argue
what I mean?
I would argue that most of those areas aren't really gray. We was just people who did that were just getting away with things that they were never supposed to get away with.
Yeah,
that's not a gray area. You rubbing your dick on somebody, that's not gray.
Right.
Like, bro, and I'm not saying you.
Somebody
shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Like if you got a girl drunk and she's passed out, it's not a gray area. You know what I mean? Like people, I've heard men talk about things that was obviously rape or sexual assault or molestation or something horrible like that, and try to say it was a gray area. And I was like, yo, because it was acceptable at one point in time, that doesn't make it a gray area. Like, people got to be honest about that. Like, nigga, you was out here raping chicks, and it maybe it was a different time and it was kind of acceptable, or it was not talked about.
For it or
you know what I mean? But that was never a good thing, and that's something that we got to tell people. Like, yo, that was never a good thing. That thing that you did,
right? Because it's commonplace doesn't make it. Okay.
Doesn't make it a good thing, and that's a great way to put it.
So then, do you hold your friends or individuals, other men, accountable?
Yeah, if somebody told me they did something crazy like that, I'm like, bro, You did what? She was passed out, and that's just an extreme. You guys can make up another example and we can speak on that.
But like, I guess like holding accountable, like he said, like say back in 2000, we all had on baggy shirts and we was doing and like at the time, there was a lot of unspoken things, like you said, that are now revealed as wrong or traumatic, cause trauma to people. Like holding men accountable, I guess would start from then as well. Like, hey man, I know maybe you weren't chastised at the time, but that was wrong then as it is now. I think is that what you're saying?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Well, what's an example that you guys have in the back of your mind?
I would say just like old school boys play. Like I think
touching a girl on the butt.
Yeah, like
and
grabbing
running.
girls' butt and running or
right.
something like that. And everybody took a blind eye to it, like, oh, that's just a boy thing, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where I would say that was never a gray area.
Right.
That was always wrong, and we let people slide on that. That was wrong. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be doing
Right.
it.
Because that's why you ran.
So exactly, and I would say that.
Even music videos, like if you go back to 1993, 94, when you had all the chicks in the videos, ass shaking and niggas pouring all type of champagne on them, and they smacking ass, and I mean, it's. I think a lot of that is part of the culture, Like, do we hold ourselves accountable? Do we look back ever and say, okay, well, yeah, we fucked up a lot, and we got to make some changes.
So I think we do. That's why we're evolving now, and we're understanding what we did was wrong, and we're holding people accountable now.
For sure. Mm-hmm. And when you see those music videos, you can't say because you saw rapper A do that in the music video that it's cool for you to just take some random girl and pour alcohol on her.
I don't think nobody's doing that.
No, nobody's doing that.
I've seen somebody do that in
a
club. I've seen people in the club take alcohol, and because they have a section in the club, they think that they could do whatever they want with whoever is there. Just because, for whatever reason, you saw that on a music video and you thought that was cool. Like, yo, you got to understand that you got to separate what you see on TV, what you hear in music, with your real life.
So check this out. Speak about the culture real quick, right? So you go to a club, there's a girl twerking, or even a Jamaican spot, and there's a girl dancing. Jamaican spot.
I feel you.
She's dancing. You're in the club, whatever. I think at some point, maybe most guys, at some point, jump behind her to dance with her, and it's kind of like a gray area, because I think in some context, it could be seen as, okay, part of the culture is dancing, but then some people may be like, well, that's inappropriate, because that's why some girls do turn around like, nigga, who is this? So what are your ideas on that?
So if you see that and you did it and she turned around, then you got to walk away.
Yeah, you got to walk away.
You got to take the L.
You got to take, that's just the L.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you, because like you said, sometimes you go to like dance hall. I've been to a couple. I mean, we all been to like a lot of dance hall parties. Not only do they be dancing, they be like dagging and you pick her up, but the women in that culture understand this is all a part of this content,
this movement.
Like we get it. Like it's so that's I don't know if that's necessarily bad. I'm not sure. Now if I try to do it and she's like, oh no sir, then
you
sorry,
just move away.
Have a good day, ma'am. Sorry about that.
And
I
that's
apologize.
just that.
Yeah.
See, I don't think, and that's why I don't think that that's great. You try to dance with her, she don't want to dance, you move immediately without the disrespect, without saying you whatever insult you want to throw at her.
Yeah.
I think where it's not acceptable and you do something, that's the problem. You know what I mean? Where only in your mind you feel like you're doing something that's not wrong. So in that situation, everybody could probably say, okay, he's just dancing. But if I touch a woman on the butt that's passing me, clearly, and I think that's okay, that's where I'm wrong.
That's where you're wrong.
1,000%.
I mean, I think like speaking of like just culture, like rape culture, for example, I think one thing that's been maybe overlooked, but like when men of our age were younger and we would try to like approach a woman and she rejected our advances. And we'd be like, oh, fuck you, stupid ass bitch.
Yeah.
Like, that's an aggressive...
I thought that shit was so whack.
Yeah, it's whack. It's always been whack. But it's funny when you're around your friends, like, oh, you made fun of her, bro. Good job. It's like, that was, I guess, funny then. But, like, when you think about it...
That was always wrong.
We knew it was always wrong, like you said. But, like, we did it because we were young and,
that's some Miami shit, really.
Everywhere.
Man,
it's like...
Yeah, that's a lot of places.
But that's a part of, like, I think, that's not rape at all, of course. Maybe, I don't know if it is sexual assault or not. Probably closer to sexual assault maybe than not.
I wouldn't, because, I mean, you're not touching her.
Not touching her, but I guess just assaulted her emotionally.
Disrespectful. I wouldn't call it sexual assault.
All right, maybe not that far, but I guess just to understand like the non because this happens a lot to black women, I think mostly, or that I know of. That's what I'm gonna speak about black women. Like all the videos you said, all these things is about black women. Like I remember watching Tip Drill video on BET Uncut, and Nelly had the credit card going through the girl butt, and I'm like, damn, it felt like a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I just remember it's all black bodies, and they pouring champagne, like you said, they doing this credit card swipe, and I'm like, damn, this feels weird.
It's
this
crazy.
feels weird
It's wild.
watching.
It's
like,
wild.
that culture.
And I think we take that, like, back to someone's point, that we take that and we go to a club, and we don't do that, obviously, but we don't. So we disregard women.
So now I would disagree with Big Mike on that. That's culture. I don't know that that's culture.
I think
it's part of the hip hop culture, or even the.
I don't think it's a part of culture.
Not entirely. It's part of certain cultures. You know, whether it's hip hop, whether it's reggae. You know, because they pick up a lot of women and they just toss them around and shit. And I think it's not culture for black people. It's just within certain subsections.
I would make a distinction between like what you would see in a dance hall place, and then what we described in the Tip Drill video.
Oh, two different things. Yeah,
I think those are two different things.
Yeah.
So when you see that, I think that is a form of entertainment because sex sells, and whether you try to take that on and do it on your own, that's completely crazy for you to do that because you said you saw Nelly do it, so I'm finna do it.
Yeah, I'm not saying as far as like
I'm saying if you did that, would be great.
But I'm saying like the message from it is like these women ain't nothing to
shit.
We just objectify them. So that's when you start getting stuff
1,000%.
Like you know, they come to your crib, girl, take off your clothes, girl. You just like you don't even consider how they're feeling because nobody knows the stripper who got the credit card swiped through in the video. We don't know her name.
Right.
We don't know nothing about her. We didn't ask her opinion on it.
Right. No. And I think if you're watching that, you cannot accept that as the reality. Like, yo, this is a good thing. Like you see that, you got to just accept that, yo, that's Nelly and them doing that, and that's not something that I got to portray in real life that this is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I just hope that when people see that you understand, yo, that's not for you to just be taking some random girl because you seen somebody else do it. Like I hope that that's not what people are doing.
Hopefully not.
I hope. And if you thought it was right because you saw somebody else do it, it was never right, even if we let that slide.
So let me ask you, you're in the club, because we were just talking about that, and you're buying an individual drinks, a young lady, whoever, you're buying her drinks, you know, she's been drinking, she's kind of getting tipsy. You know, at what point do you feel like you have to fall back that, you know, this may be sexual assault or rape?
That's a really good question.
I think
it is.
In those situations, I think it's tough because like you're not even thinking about sexual assault and rape. Yeah, you're buying her drinks. I mean, I don't know your purpose in buying her drinks. Is it to loosen her up or is it to like just be a nice guy? You know what I mean?
I think it's a little of both.
Right.
I think, you know.
But I mean, you got to use your common sense. When a woman's too drunk, you know when someone's drunk. You've been around drunk people and you know when it's a point of taking advantage of a woman. You know what I mean? I think that's also a great area. If drinks are involved, period, should she be able to have sex with you?
So that's a tough one. There is no easy answer and there is no one answer. You can't say like, hey, this happened with me and such, and therefore it is the same every time with another person, because it's not. And there's just no way to answer that question. You can't say like, yeah, well, we had one drink, she's straight. Yeah, you have no idea.
Right,
you don't know.
You just never
That's
know.
true.
You just gotta, man. Honestly, you gotta use your best judgment. You gotta gauge it.
Yeah.
And if you, man, heaven help the person that makes the wrong choice at that point.
I think at that point you got to leave it in her hands. I mean, if you're
it's always leaving it in her person's hands.
And that's the safest way. I think you're buying her drinks. If she decides that she wants to come on to you, hey, are you okay with doing this? I mean, hey, are you sure? Do you know what you're doing at this point? And then,
but then one can say you just used the drink in order for her to come towards you, or in order for her to loosen up and give.
Yeah, but that's so hypothetical.
It's difficult because, like, sometimes, like you said, say a woman comes to your house, you have a movie, you ask, would you like wine? Like, you want to offer a drink to,
especially in the club.
Yeah, or in the club, especially like you
hospitable.
offer it, right, to be hospitable. Like, I'm trying to show you that I'm a nice, you know, I'm doing this not to like get you. I'm doing this to like to bring your guard down so we can at least have a conversation. There's 1,000 people in this club. Like, how am I gonna separate myself in a sense? I'm trying to show you that, hey, I'm
Nice guy.
I'm a nice guy, right? I'm willing to, buy you something. I don't know. If this is a restaurant, I would have bought you a meal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it almost like buying a drink is almost like going on a date.
Pretty much.
In a club, I guess. That's the only way you can go on one. You buy a drink, and then we go to a corner and we sit and talk or dance.
I mean, a part of the reason why people drink in the first place
is to
loosen up, is to have fun, to make your inhibitions go a little bit down, so you could just be more comfortable.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't think it's you offer somebody a drink, you are wrong for offering somebody a drink. You just have to,
because even at that point, she can use discretion. Maybe I'm drinking a little too much. Maybe I'm tipsy. Maybe I don't trust this guy. Let me push it back.
And you can use discretion as well. Like,
right.
just
but I think it's also, as a man, you're supposed to offer.
Offer a drink.
A drink.
Okay.
Just being polite. I think that's where it's on her to say, okay, I'm going to accept the drink, or I'm going to just reject it. I'm not forcing the drink down your throat.
No. So what I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, like, when you offer the drink, so that we're already there. When that person is drinking, you also, the person who's offered the drink, you got to also use your discretion. Like, when did she have too much, or when did that person have too much? It don't even have to be your homeboy. You could be out with your homeboy. You got to look like, man, this man had too much. You can't always leave it to somebody to be like, all right, let them tell you they've had enough, because, hey, once you start drinking, you have lost a little bit of yourself where you might not be able to make the right decision and say, I've had too much to drink. And I think we've all been there where we've had too much to drink.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've definitely been drunk hundreds of times. Yeah, and it's like, I think in that point, like you just said, you just gotta. If I buy a drink and then I see like, oh, she almost fell on her heel. I'm like, oh, that was
That's
weird.
a sign,
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's get some water. Let's sit down. Let's relax. Where your friends at? Let's, you know what I mean? Like, watch her type thing. You know what I mean?
Like your role changes from like pursuing you now to just being a friend in a sense to the woman. You know what I mean? Like you said, go get her some water. Go help her find her friends. So you just got to be responsible.
Now, have any of you been in that situation where you bought a woman some drinks and you saw that she was kind of inebriated and you're like, okay, maybe I should chill and take care of her at this point?
What?
In a club? Oh, I sober up quick. If that happens, that happens plenty of times. You sober up immediately because it's like, damn, I like this girl and I don't want our interaction to end. But then I don't really want to go any further.
Yeah.
So I just be like, oh, that's not going to be it.
I think it mostly happens, especially like after the club, when the let out happens. Now everybody's pretty much drunk, and it's like, I know she's inebriated, and I am too, and something can go down. So what do you do in that situation? You know what I mean? You like her, you get a phone number, and you just help her find a friend.
Yeah,
really.
It actually happened to me. I was at a strip club, and the lady only bought her one drink, but it was a double. I was like, hey, what you drinking? I told the stripper to go ask her what she was drinking. And so she asked her what she was drinking. She said Hennessy. So I said, okay, go ahead and order it. So she ordered a drink. And I saw that the chick kind of got wild immediately. It went from her pretty much like vibing to her looking like she was fucking the strippers. Like she was just wild with it. She got her hand on all in the strippers' cooch. Like she sucking her tits in the club. I'm like, yo, she doing the most. And so she's like, come here. So she grabs me and she's kind of like trying to get me in the mix, and I'm like, chill. So then she grabs my hand and she tries to put up her skirt, and I'm in the club and it's like a bunch of dudes around me. And I'm like, and they looking at like, bruh, boy, you got, but that shit finna go. I'm looking like, hell no.
Yeah.
Like I don't want no parts of this. First of all, I don't want to be put on the scene putting my finger, putting my finger up a girl's skirt, and she had on no panties, and I was like, yo, I don't want to be in this mix. So I kind of fell back, and she's like, yo, come here. I'm like, nah, chill. So then she did it again, took my finger, put it up her, and I'm like, yo, you got to fall back, like,
Yeah.
Then she's like, oh, let's get more my drink. I'm like, hell no. So then luckily I found her sister, and she was like, yeah, she kind of fucked up. And I'm like, I only bought her one drink. And I said, yeah, just go with her. Like, at that point, to me, it was time to, like, let the situation go. I didn't even want her number anymore.
Yeah, that's just discretion, man. You just got to know when to fall back, like you said.
And I think a lot of people don't really pay attention to it. I think we as men have to do a better job of using discernment in those type of situations, understanding that, we don't live in a day and age where that, back in the day when people thought it was okay to do certain things like that, we don't live in those days anymore.
Yeah, that's why I think it's important we having this conversation now. It's like, I think a lot of young guys don't have the game really, like, and then they make the wrong read, or they ignore signs, or they pretend like, oh no, she was good. She was drunk, but she drove home, or she was drunk, but she came to my house anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or
that don't make you not drunk.
Yeah, that don't make you not drunk. Oh, she was drunk. She was drinking, but she said it was cool. I asked her. She said, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like I pulled down her panties. She ain't say nothing. Like, nah, that's the wrong.
Or even she came back.
What you mean?
So, a situation I heard of, a young lady told me she was raped by someone. And it was a situation when I asked her, she said it happened maybe too many times that she couldn't count. So, initially I was like, well, hold on. How is it possible that someone raped you? You kept going back. And I think that was me being insensitive about the situation. And I'm like, damn, like, if you go to see a guy and he forced himself on you, what in your mind makes you want to go back? And she just said she went back over and over and over and over, and I didn't understand that. And so,
yeah,
I hear it's like what is she missing that makes her say rape, but she comes back again?
Yeah.
But why don't I understand that she's being raped? You know what I mean? But in my opinion, it's like even like Stockholm syndrome. Like you fall in love with the person that's exactly,
yeah.
or even if she's going there for something else other than sex that she needs.
And I think it's psychological,
right? And then she allows him maybe even to do that because she's getting something else from him. You know what I mean?
Can
she's
never
getting that partnership.
You can never understand somebody else's trauma. Like, what is it that made you do this crazy thing, or to you made you go like you kept going back to your abuser? Nah, you can never understand somebody's trauma, whether it's a woman, man, child, old, whatever. You can never understand somebody's trauma and what makes them do the things that they do.
And that's what pimps do all the time to the hoes. I mean, they beat them, abuse them, and then give them a bath and love them. Yeah. And they always come back.
That's
Giving
right.
someone all your money, I mean, that's crazy to me.
It is crazy.
Yeah. It happens, man.
It does happen.
It's psychological.
And we can't, as men, like we live in a society that overall benefits us, in subjugation of women. So like when women come out and say, I went back to this man over and over, and she felt like she said she was raped each time. Why she keep going back? It's not for us to even try to answer, because I obviously I have no idea, but maybe other women that she probably told that to, like, oh girl, I know that same thing happened to me, same thing happened to my cousin, same thing happened to.
And it's also not a justification, for men.
So
for men,
it's never a justification.
For sure.
But you do have some guys that be like, well, she came back,
right?
And that was gonna be my question. What are your sentiments on the guy that after being told she was raped, did it again? I mean, in the same fashion.
I thought it was
that's
asshole.
clear. That's evil.
He's a fuck boy.
It's clear.
That's
an evil individual right there. That's
you gotta point
clear.
that out.
Especially when she talked about it the first time, and then you did it again.
Right. Even to have sex with her again after hearing that.
Bro, you raping her,
you a
period.
Piece of shit.
Right. You evil,
You're
period.
a piece of shit, period.
One time.
You out, man. That's
It don't matter.
That's not.
One time. That's done. Like, yo, you have that you could do that. If for you to be capable of doing that, it's clear. That's evil right there.
And I think one of the common misconceptions is that, a lot of ignorant men used to say back in the day was that, she knew what she was doing, or she put that shit on because she knew what she wanted. Like I remember going on South Beach when we were younger, and, you'll see the girl walking by with the shorts on or the thong out, and then you'll see dudes smacking her ass, and she's like, nigga, stop touching me. Bitch, you knew what you was doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, come on, bro. Like,
that's not cool.
That shit's wild.
That's cool. And it's on us men to, like, call that out. Like, hey, bro, like that, what you just did. Like, if we was walking together and that happened with one of y'all, I'd be like, hey, man, nah, that's not.
I'm gonna slap one of y'all.
But for real, I mean, that's probably, that's probably what has to happen amongst men. Like, maybe there needs to be more. Of course, you call it accountability.
And it's funny. There was a story on Instagram I actually saw recently where there was a guy who, a group of friends, just kind of like us in the group chat, and one of the guys was saying he saw a 17-year-old girl, and he wanted to fuck. He was like, yeah, man, she's 17, I'm a fuck. Like, why not? And it was like, there was one of the guys who stood out and said, nah, bro, that shit's wild. Like, that's some pedophilic shit. Like, how do you feel okay saying that? And what I saw was that even with the other guy, condescendingly, disrespecting the guy, oh, fuck, boy, you're dissing. The man stood his ground, and I think that a lot of times that, we don't hold ourselves accountable as men, and I think a lot of times that, our friends don't hold us accountable. But in that situation, he did.
Yeah.
And so for me, even saying that she was 17 is it's not even a problem for me. I think because we put a number on it, and then we think like, oh, when she turns 18, we can have sex with her. I think that's still fucking nasty to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Like you waited on her?
Yeah, like
you was praying?
Like, because of this age, now I can have sex with her. Like, no, she's still, you're still a fucking child.
Yeah.
Like,
And
She
what's
can't
funny,
even drink.
I saw Buddy, the story you talking about, like somebody under him who supported him was like the age of consent was like 16 in that state or something like that.
That makes it any better.
Yeah,
That shit's
that's
arbitrary.
wild.
Yeah,
That's-
it's just
that's
random.
You came up with some random man.
Right.
16 in this state
Right.
and 17 in Florida. How?
That's right.
right.
Exactly.
So
That's
people use
wild.
that, the law sometimes to their advantage and say, hey, this age is okay over here.
The
14
law,
is
the
okay
law
in
means,
Mexico.
the law means no shit. And somebody gave the proper rebuttal to that and said, nigga, back in the day, slavery was fucking legal. That doesn't make it correct.
That's
You know,
right.
like,
Right.
Yeah.
in some countries, you can't have anal sex. I mean, in some states.
Yeah, that's true. Like sodomy laws. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Yeah, it's true. It's difficult. It's like so. It's like in that situation, what do you do? Like, do you just cancel your friend?
Absolutely.
Just that's it.
I mean, if I try to if I explain to you what's wrong in the situation and you're choosing to adamantly, stand your ground on that situation, I'm good. I don't need to hang with you.
Yeah, I think there's just some lines.
Yeah.
And man, rape is a pretty clear line, I think. Like, bro, if you out here just gonna rape or pedophilia to the thing that we're talking about right now, like, dog, I don't know how much do we got to talk about that. Like, hey,
That's not
rape
cool.
people, and you're gonna argue with me? Come on, man, we can't rock, we can't be friends.
Yeah, facts. That's totally what you got. Like
That's just clear to me.
Yeah.
I think the problem is just that we don't say that.
Nah, we definitely do. I don't have any friends that came to me and said that they raping people or doing
Well, no,
pedophilia.
I'm not gonna say people come out and
not
say it, but
us
like,
here. Yeah, but man.
It's just holding people accountable. Like we've
Yeah.
been saying, it just sometimes don't happen amongst men, and that's just the problem with this situation at all times. Like,
And I agree with you. Like, I think the explanation you could say first, because there's a lot of changes that's happened. Like, a lot of things have names to them now that we didn't know were maybe sexual assault or like, abuse or spousal abuse or whatever. So maybe Buddy didn't know. But if you like, hey, look, bro, no, like that's not cool. Like, this is why, this is X, Y, and Z, and they still like, nah, fuck that, fuck these hoes, blah 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 blah. Nah, bro,
I think to take it down
that's weird.
a couple notches, I think true gray areas are what is that word? Sexual harassment. I think those have a lot of gray areas to it. Like if you ever watch like Mad Men and you see the difference between how they interacted in the office, like a boss saying, "Hey toots," like he didn't touch her, but him calling her that, like at that point in time, that was a gray area because in that person's mind, he could have been thinking, "I'm not saying anything disrespectful to you," not knowing how she felt about that. I think those might be some gray areas, but once you touching people, and I don't think those were ever gray areas right there.
Yeah, even that, the hey toots, or you be like, you go to work and you say, "Hey, sweetie," something like that to your work.
That's a great one.
Your work wife,
or just any woman. Not even got to be your work wife.
Yeah.
Like you saying that, it's like, okay, now
Sweetie?
these are some gray areas.
sweetie, it's tough. Even when you go up to women like, "Damn, baby, smile today. You look good. You should smile." Like, ooh, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you're just like, "Damn, baby, you should smile. You look good." Whatever. Like, smile more. You too pretty not to be smiling. It's like, damn, bro, that's
Sexual harassment.
that's what I'm saying. It is
In the workplace?
even
I'm on the streets.
even trying to holler at a female
streets.
at the
That's a
workplace
good question.
is
I don't
sexual
know.
harassment.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
do that
true.
shit. I don't shit where I eat. So
No, I'm just saying, like, you just think of places where you can meet somebody. I met my wife at work. That could have easily been sexual harassment for me stepping to
Absolutely.
her. You know what I mean?
or it probably was.
It's always
This
depending.
nigga said it probably
Watch
was.
out.
But it really is depending
Yeah.
on if the woman likes you or not. If she doesn't like you, then it's possible.
Well, how do you know?
Right.
Hey,
Exactly.
the
So-
vibes, like you go to lunch, like, oh, hey, somebody sitting here, or something. I don't know what you eating today. Oh man, the cafeteria sucks or whatever. Like, you come up with shit, but like, don't just go up to like,
Be a weirdo.
yeah, be a weird. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like, maybe because it's something that I've learned over time, but like, when you do too much, you lose more than you would have gained if you just take it easy. You know what I mean? Like, just relax.
You always got to take it easy.
Just
especially
relax.
at the workplace.
Yeah, especially just in life. Just relax. When you're around women, just be cool. That's it. If they think you lame because you like quiet or you maybe asking too many questions, that's cool too.
That's okay. You're
That's
safe.
cool.
Rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, man. Because I'm definitely lame to a lot of people because I want to know, like, is it okay if we engage in anything? If that makes me Lame? Yes, it probably sounds really crazy too. But okay, cool. That's cool.
I just think take steps. Don't jump into any particular situation. You know? Take baby steps.
Yeah, man. Like just
I completely.
Don't touch me again. That's the third time.
See that right there? That's sexual harassment. You just touching that man.
For sure.
Sexual assaulter.
It is.
How dare you? Now this is where it gets really controversial. The question I'm about to ask. Y'all ready? Dum drum rolls. So when somebody claims that they have been raped or sexually assaulted, how do you then take it? Do you up and already, that happened. I believe her.
Yes, because the incidence of that not being true is much less than it actually being true. So how many times? Of course, women. There's cases, and you can point them out. I think some girl said a football player raped her, and he never did. He served time, for sure. That definitely does happen. But I think in the off chance that I don't think that happens as much as women actually being raped. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think I saw something like 1 out of 4 women have been sexually harassed, or it might be even more than that. 1 out of 3 maybe.
Right.
But I don't know no man who's done sexual harassment. So something is not adding up.
Somebody.
You know what I mean? Yeah, somebody lying somewhere.
Right.
So I think like if somebody says like, I was Bill Cosby, or maybe more recent than that. Anything happened, Michael B. Jordan fucking finger me in a bus or something like that.
Right.
That's a very extreme example. But like if somebody came out on Twitter and said that right now, I'd believe her.
You just automatically
until this happened to Justin Bieber. I don't know why this came to me. Some girl said he raped me and my friend at the Plaza Hotel in Austin, Texas. Justin Bieber came out with, nigga, I wasn't even there that day. I was in Japan. I had pictures. I was with my girlfriend at the time. The girlfriend at the time was like, yeah, that is true. Like I was with him. We were having sex that night. She took pictures. Wild. And then the girl was like, oh yeah, I'm just a crazy fan or whatever.
Wow.
But that's really rare though, I think.
But I don't think so. I think it's a lot of them. I think in the situation when it's a celebrity, not all of them. I think in a lot of situations like Cosby, Weinstein. We understood what happened in those situations, but there are right now. I think Takeoff from the Migos is now under investigation. For something that allegedly happened at a party, and it's like sometimes you do realize, and she never filed any type of criminal,
paperwork. I hear you.
It's all fucking at this point civil. She's trying to sue in order to gain for financial gain.
Okay.
In those situations, I'm sorry, I don't know that I believe all of them. Some of them, yes, but it's like if you were actually raped, you're not trying to find seek any type of criminal.
So with my thing, I can never tell a rape victim how they should feel, how they should go about it.
Well, no, so don't frame it as a rape victim.
Okay,
just frame it.
So anyone that's allegedly sexually assaulted, I can't tell you how you need to come out to the open or tell the police. Maybe there's so many ramifications if you even going to the police that you have to now face your accuser or face your family or all of that. So a lot of people don't say stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And so it could be that her father or mother was like, maybe we can get some money. We need it. Daddy got cancer. There's so many things to it. For me, I just don't take a side.
So yeah, I'm neutral about it.
It's so hard because you see so many situations on both sides that I have sympathized for the woman that she has to come out and say this. She was sexually assaulted. But I don't want, because of the way the law is set up, you don't want to say the guy is guilty before he's even been, to trial or something. So it's hard.
But I guess with that, it's for the example with Takeoff, so I think a lot of, like you were saying, can't tell women how to, how to tell the victim how to come out.
Right.
So it's because once she comes out, we start scrutinizing her.
Right.
Like, what party? Well, how much you had to drink? What you was doing? Takeoff? Really? You went upstairs with him though, right? You did this? What took you so long? How come you doing civil versus criminal? We start questioning everything that she did. The victim. But we don't got no questions for Takeoff.
2 things. One, I wouldn't call that person the victim. Just the person. Just the person. Exactly. The person who claimed that they were raped.
Right.
Okay, victim.
Second, I would say what you're talking about. That's what needs to stop. I think if anybody claims that they were raped, you got to take that claim seriously.
Absolutely.
And you investigate it.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean because you take it seriously, that person is now guilty and he has to prove he's innocent. I'm not gonna say who you said Takeoff. I'm not gonna say Takeoff absolutely raped that person.
Yeah.
No, I think you investigated.
Because that's kind of like what happened with Antonio Brown. You know,
I don't know what happened. What happened with him?
Well, there was an alleged, rape with a young lady who stated that, I guess, he raped her. You know, they drove from like South Beach all the way to his home in Weston or something like that. And come to find out, that's actually what started that whole thing where he got dropped by the Patriots. If you guys remember.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Now I remember
And
what you're
then
talking about.
it came out that she was just trying to seek money because she was trying to open up some type of business. And this guy's career is pretty much, I don't say over, but look at what it did to. Look at the amount of money that it cost him.
Well, he's a little different case. He
no, but I mean,
he did. But to your point, I get your point.
It started from there, and it trickled down. I mean, a lot of things just kind of went sour from there. Just kind of like a ball started rolling, but it started from allegations that were made that were false.
Right. Yeah. Things that you don't do, you don't ask what was she wearing because that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
You don't ask. All those questions that you pointed
misogynistic.
out. Those are all things that you
sure.
should not be doing for anybody. Like that's crazy to me. I was in a class one time and we were having a conversation about rape, and it was just so interesting to me that the only person who asked, "Hey, what was she was wearing?" was another woman, and I thought she would have been more empathetic to that situation. Like you would actually ask what she was wearing because she claimed she got raped. I thought that was crazy to me, and you should never ever do
Bible
that.
Thumper.
I don't know. I don't know like that, bro.
I think it makes sense. It's like she wants to see if the woman's values matches her values, and if it doesn't, she can understand how she got raped. You know what I mean? Like if I don't wear these clothes and she wears that, I can see why she got raped because of that.
So, but
that's
the problem,
you said that's what that woman.
But it's an ignorant mindset.
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
It's judgmental. It's a lot that's wrong.
Exactly, because what it implies is, well, if she
It's
was wearing
okay.
that, exactly,
Right.
You
That's true.
influence this. But at the same time, just because people do that, just because like that girl, for instance, or that woman, for instance, who did that, that doesn't mean to negate her. We need to do the other extreme and then just automatically believe anybody who accuses anybody of doing something, even if it is rape. Like I hate the question, well, why would somebody lie? Because people lie. That's why somebody would lie. Like in any situation, why would I lie? People lie.
People do. I mean, and that you could definitely use that, that term. But I just feel like the incidence of like false, I don't know, rape accusations or whatever.
But that's why you investigate it.
See, but
it has to be investigated.
But then the end result doesn't always match usually what happens. So say for example, I don't know, Antonio Brown, he's found innocent, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So or say Takeoff is found innocent. It doesn't mean that
it
didn't happen. You see what I'm saying?
But does that mean you automatically believe that person?
Exactly.
So does that change the outcome? Like if you honestly investigated it, does that mean you believing it changes the outcome?
No, but the point I'm trying to make is like, say they investigate, let's say Takeoff, for example, and they say it's insufficient evidence to make a guilty or not guilty, whatever. So then what do? We just said as men, we gonna call it out and cancel it. Then how do we react to Takeoff?
Oh, then me personally, I don't make a judgment. I don't say that Takeoff did not rape her. I never make that judgment. That's me, and I would suggest that people say. I would suggest people do the same. Don't say that.
Just remain neutral.
Exactly. You cannot say
Takeoff.
You absolutely. I don't know that, and I'm not going to say he
and
didn't do it.
I think it's wrong to do it.
Like I won't say he did or did not do it.
I think it's tough because we look at the law to be the deciding factor. Like if you don't get convicted of something, then you didn't do it. And that's
like Michael Jackson.
What?
That's a great example.
Exactly. Like
why is that a great example?
Because he for sure raped those people.
He absolutely.
For sure.
So that why I don't think it's a great example because I didn't need him to get convicted for me to believe whether he did it or not.
No, but maybe not you. But
exactly.
I think in
general.
most
In
people,
general?
I think
Okay.
most
I see
people
what you're
believe
saying.
he's
Innocent?
Or even like OJ.
Okay, like OJ.
But for the law, that is the reason why we have the law, though, to make those decisions at the same point. You know what I mean? Because
some people get off.
we need that
For sure.
Well, yeah, because you can't convict people because of public opinion.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
True.
you should. Yeah, but you can ruin their
You
livelihood.
could definitely
and
ruin their
their
lives,
livelihood.
For
and
sure.
that's why you don't go one way or another and say
Just
you
you
take
remain
off.
neutral.
You absolutely did it
For sure.
because then he could be ruined when he didn't do it.
It's just let's present the evidence and see where everything falls.
And unfortunately, that might be the best you got.
And I think safe to say, just to like round it up, I think we here we just want y'all, man. I think we speaking to men. Like men have to do better.
Much better.
We as men have to hold each other accountable. Learn, read, ask women, believe women, make them comfortable. Put the onus on yourself to make a woman comfortable around you. Don't put it on her. Put it on you. You take responsibility, take accountability, and make sure that she's comfortable. And make sure and tell your friends too. Like if they doing like lame shit, they doing like aggressive shit. Call that shit out, man. Because these niggas is trash out here.
Speaking of which,
they're making us look bad.
there was a time, bro.
All right, y'all.
Yes, sir.